Alright guys, welcome back to some Planet Zoo. As you can see, we're building another enclosure. Today we're doing the Japanese, whatever the fuck, I don't know how to pronounce it. We're doing the Japanese monkeys as well as the red crowned cranes. So yeah, as you can see I'm using Gabion. I changed the outer area to thick glass like the other enclosures, but I started with Gabion. So I'm kind of just trying to follow the sign we made a while ago. I'm trying to just follow that sign and make the enclosure go around it, so hopefully you could see it from that side. And you can. I think it came out pretty good. It came out the way I wanted it to. Also, if you notice like frame drops, it's because the game is not running good anymore. I think the zoo hit that threshold where it just doesn't run good anymore, because whenever I unpause the game, I get like 5 frames. So I'm pretty sure the zoo's just too big now, which sucks, but it is what it is. But as you can see, like I said, I changed all that to glass, to the thick glass, and then I left the gabion in the back on that one side. And I think it came out fairly good. So right here I'm doing like a little pond, you know? So, because we are going to have the red crowned cranes in here, so I wanted to have somewhere for them to go, because they do need like 300 meters of water. 300 square feet of water, I think is what it is. It's like the flamingos. But this was too deep for what I wanted. So as you'll see right here, I go ahead and I raise up this end. I leave that side kind of deep, but I raise up this side so that it's super shallow so they could just stand in it. And then you'll see too, I put a forage box in here because it's like a water forage box. I think we put it in for the flamingos as well. But so I just threw that in the water, and it seemed to work pretty good. But so we got 3 of the monkeys, 4 of the cranes. The cranes I'm gonna try and keep in check and not let it end up turning into the flamingos. And then the monkeys should be fine, just doing what they're doing, you know. But yeah, I have no frames when I hit play. It's crazy. It also might just not be noticeable because it is sped up. I know you can't see too much, but I'm putting a bunch of soil around the pond now. And trying to get rid of a lot of the grass. Which I did. And then I go ahead, I just throw in the enrichment. But see, there's a forage pool. So I was like, I'll just throw it in the water then. So, and then a couple enrichment items. Then I put this waterfall right here against the pond. And yeah, it looks pretty good. I like everything I did right there in terms of the pond. And the crane seemed to like it somewhat, so that's good. And then I go and I just pre-place a couple of trees before I get all the other animals in here, just so that at least the cranes are definitely good to go, you know? And then when the monkeys come in here, we could just focus on the monkeys. So I decided to build like a mountain thing. You'll see it ends up becoming a lot more than I thought it was going to be. But as you can see, I'm just building up like a big mountain wall, just using the same rock to get like a base, and then I'll add rocks to it like I usually do. But yeah, this ended up being bigger than I thought it was going to be for sure. So I'm pulling it up right here on this pillar because I'm going to try to just have their hard shelter under this and have like a nice little spot for them up top. I initially didn't go high enough, sadly, so I had to redraw this, I think, one other time. But I was going to just do a ramp right here, but it wouldn't work because the door's there, so I put a ramp on this side. And I thought that, and then I smoothed it out, and I thought it was going to be good, but it wasn't enough because when I put the bedding down there, it fucking deleted the top. Which I kind of expected it to do, but I wasn't certain. Because it could have been tall enough. It could have been tall enough. Sorry about that. But yeah, so as you see, sorry. As you see, it just like deleted it. So I had to raise it all up higher and then re-flatten it again. And this time it worked out. This time it's definitely high enough. I mean, it looks excessively large, I think. But I liked the finished product. So once I finished everything, I thought it looked pretty good. But I'm smoothing out right here. I'm like, that's still too steep of a little thing. And then it just disconnected. So I was like, okay, let's go back and I'll just redraw the ramp. And I did that, and I was able to smooth it out a little bit better and have it connect a lot better. As you can see there, it looks a little bit better. It's still really, really high, you know, but I think it looks pretty good. We don't leave it just floating either. We add more rocks around it. And I think adding the other rocks is really what helped it in this case. It helped it just come together a lot better and look a little more... I mean, it definitely doesn't look natural, but it looks better than what it was. So, as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm just placing more rocks around to try and fill it in a little bit better and have it just look right. Because it didn't, initially it didn't look right. There's something to it, you know, it didn't look right. But as I kept adding rocks, I think it looked more and more better. And it just ended up working out pretty good. Just adding in like a couple of pillars, you know what I mean, right there, just to kind of make it look good. And I think it came out pretty good. The only thing I am worried about is them getting up here and possibly escaping. Most animals though tend to not climb on normal rocks. They usually climb on the cladding. At least I think they do. I think that's the difference between the two. I'm not sure though. But anyway, I still just left it how it is. If they do get out, I'm pretty sure I could just put a null barrier up, like over it, and it should work. Like, well, it wouldn't be over it; it would be in the habitat a little bit. But I think that would work. So, and then I'm kind of just getting these rocks out of the path a little bit because they were sticking out a little too far for my liking. So I did that. I was fairly happy with it. So I decided to move on to the next stuff. Let the monkeys come in here. And then of course the flamingos are close to getting more diseases because the enclosure's not clean. But as you can see, there's our little monkey guys. But yeah, I had to go in here and kind of paint some more stuff. They needed way less long grass, and I did it backwards for a minute, so I was adding long grass into the enclosure because I just straight up read it incorrectly. But and it was, as you can see now, I'm putting in short grass. It was also a little hard to get the snow in here. It's still not in the green, but it's super close, so I just left it how it is. Just because the enclosure isn't big enough for the amount of snow it wants, and for me to have like a mountain for the snow instead of just the snow being on the ground, you know. So I had to leave it in the red because there just wasn't enough room to add more to this mountain. I already think the mountain takes up too much space, you know. But so I'm just adding snow up here to try and get it to look good, and also so the monkeys are happy. But I don't know, man. I was just trying to, like, I was just brainstorming, you know, just kind of throwing snow everywhere. And then I was like, oh, I need to add a lot more coolers because just the top's not going to work. I'm going to have to get the ramp and stuff as well for it to work efficiently. And then I lost a cooler somewhere in that rock, so I just hit redo and deleted it, and then put a new one in sticking out a little bit so I can actually click on it if need be. And then I just lowered the range quite a bit, so it's only at the top for the most part. And it ended up working out. I ended up getting enough snow. I'm happy with the amount of snow I got. I didn't want snow all the way down the ramp, but that is just what ended up happening as well, which is fine. I still think it looks good. It's just, I definitely didn't want snow at the bottom of the thing. I wanted it to be like halfway up, but I just left it because they needed more snow. And I'm just trying my best to paint more snow where it kind of makes sense. And then I get rid of all the snow down there because I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. But I had to leave it at 14% sadly, which sucked, but it is what it is. It looks pretty good, so. And then now we're going to go in and add the foliage. Oh wait, no, we're going to do the enrichment, I guess, and then the foliage. So yeah, just threw some like ice stuff up there, just cause. And then I was like, okay, look at a little bit more. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't put any food down for the red grains. So I go back, and I go to their enrichment, and then I put down a food bowl. I always forget the food bowls when I'm putting down the normal enrichment shit. But I just threw both their food bowls right next to each other, and left it as is, you know. And then now I just go in and I add some trees around, just to fill it in. They like a decent amount of coverage. And the enclosures look better with plants, you know? So I'm just trying to kind of throw plants where I think they look good. And just kind of do that, you know? I didn't want to put too much in the water. So I tried to restrain from putting stuff down there. Then I put this nice tree up here to add just a little pop of color up there in the white snow. And then that's basically it, I think, for the trees. Now we're going to do the climbing shit. Which, sorry. The climbing stuff was kind of hard to figure out too, because the enclosure really isn't that big. And it was kind of hard for me to figure out what I exactly wanted to do, because there was such little space, and I did take up a lot of the area with trees. So I thought of this kind of thing where there's a platform over here by the pond just kind of in the air sticking out, and it has a bridge going to the top of the hill. So I did that, and I think it ended up coming out good. It wasn't what I expected to do with the enclosure. I kind of expected to do something somewhat like the other primate enclosures where I have like climbable shit in the trees. But these trees are simply too thick to do that. The monkeys should be able to climb the trees because you can turn it on and off for like all the trees, I think. So they should be able to climb them. Probably. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just doing a quick little simple climbing structure up to the top of the mountain. I think it came out pretty good. The climbing structure, I think, came out pretty good. Yeah, I just genuinely didn't know what to do. And then I was kind of worried about it not being enough climbable stuff, so I did go ahead and add like another little prefab at the bottom. So I think it ended up coming out good though, like I said. And then I added another little platform up here just so there's something. But yeah, that was what I did, and again, I think it came out good. The creative juices were in fact not flowing for this enclosure, so it was kind of hard to just think about stuff. I kind of just threw it together. It did come out good though. I'd say it's a very busy enclosure for the size it is. We utilized the space very well. And I do like having that angle by the Primate Kingdom sign. I'll show that a little better when we go take a closer look. But I think having that whole glass thing right there made the sign look better too. Which I'll showcase that a little bit better. But I mean, you can see right here, you have the pond and then you have the enclosure behind it. I think it just works really well. Now all that's left is to do our education. So we're gonna do the Japanese monkeys on on every other, and then the red crane on every other. I was gonna put some along the Primate Kingdom sign side. I decided against that. I wanted to leave that side kind of open so you can enjoy the sign itself and the little pond over there, but also see into the enclosure somewhat clearly. And then I just try to utilize the education the best I could. So I kind of just threw as much speakers as I could, which now I'm thinking, now I'm going to have to delete a couple of these speakers for whatever we're going to put across from them, which I think is going to be the doles. I think that's what we're going to do next. I'm not sure though. I'm still on the fence on what to do next. It's either going to be the doles or the carkle though, I think. It'll probably be the carkle. Or the doles. Fuck, I don't know. The doles are annoying because you do need a lot of them, I think. I think it's like 10 was the minimum for them to be happy in terms of social. But, yeah, let's go take a closer look at the enclosure and then we'll try to decide on what to do next because we need to fill in that space with quite a few animals. As you guys can see though, yeah, it's very laggy now. Like I've no frames, it's terrible. But this is what the enclosure looks like. As you can see, we got the cranes running around. Don't worry about all that stuff, it goes away after a few seconds. We got our monkeys in here. This monkey's just chilling. We got our cranes. Everything seems to be happy in here. And I think it came out. I'm going to pause it because it lets the game kind of get its frames back. But I think it looks a lot. I think it looks like a lot. But I think it looks good. Yeah, it's more full than these enclosures. It's because these more tropical style monkeys and primates and shit, they didn't have much land foliage, like short ground foliage, I mean. Like these guys did. And these guys had a little bit, not much. And these guys had a little bit. But then I got to the chimps and the other one and they didn't have much except for like big shit that takes up way too much space. So, but this whole area is filled in pretty nicely now, I'd say. I do got to put stuff on this side or maybe do a path out. I don't know yet. We're going to leave it blank for now because I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. But, I mean, as you can see, the enclosure came out pretty solid, I'd say. Like, if you're just a person walking around, you know what I mean? Looks pretty good. A lot going on in there, but then you get this whole view where you could look right here, and then you can look through all this glass right here along this side, which I think it makes the enclosure even better. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way the enclosure came out in the whole primate section of the zoo. This whole little square or rectangle, it looks like a gun. It looks like a pistol. See it? Huh. But yeah, this whole little section right here with the primates came out good. The plaza came out pretty good too. I'm fairly happy with it. I like having the fennec fox in the middle. People still don't come to the plaza. Again though, I have not let the game run that much. Because it does just fuck everything all at once. And then the aardvarks are still not getting much attention. This whole side of the zoo doesn't get much attention though, because there's no reason to really come over here, I guess, even though there's a lot of good animals. But yeah, so that's what we got going on with this enclosure. Again, it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So now we got to talk about what we're gonna do next. So I think I decided on the doles last time. On what I want to do next, at least. So there's at least going to be these guys, the carkle, the doles, and I could probably do the black bear over here, or the Himalayan brown bear. Could do the Indian rhinoceros and the wild water buffalo over here, though. But that's also not the proper area that I'm going for. I don't know. Yeah. At the very least, we could do the red deer. No, that's more Europe. And the red fox already did in America. Could do the striped hyena because it is in Asia and Africa. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure shit out. But I think next episode we're going to do the duels, and that's going to be like a normal video. I'm just going to record me building the whole enclosure because it should be fairly simple. So we're probably going to start with 2 and 2, and we're going to make it, they need 12,000, and that's for one adult. So let's say we have 4 adults, or 5 adults. They need 1,600. So we're going to build about a 20,000 square foot enclosure. We're going to have a viewing domes everywhere. It only has to be 4 feet tall, the enclosure, so that's solid. But so that's going to be a pretty big enclosure, and I think I'm going to do it on this side. I want to do the carcoal on this side because it's African and Asian, so I'm going to do the carcoal over here. So next episode we're going to put the doles in right here on this side, and we're just going to make it fucking massive. And just hope it comes out good. I think it will though, I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, so that's the plan for next episode, to do the duels, and then we'll probably just go over here to do the carcals real quick, and then we'll figure out the last couple of animals to fit in right here. And then we gotta build over here, which I think we're gonna build the plaza right off of this, and then I'm gonna put the pandas right behind the plaza. And have just like a little loop around the pandas probably, back into the plaza. At least that's what I'm thinking. I'm not entirely sure yet, but that's what I'm thinking now that I've put the Japanese monkeys over here, because they were initially going to go over here. So we'll probably just throw the pandas over there. Hope for the best. But yeah, and then once that's done, we'll just continue expanding the Africa area a little bit. Probably do a loop this way, and have a few more African animals on this side. I don't know. Zoo's filling in though. It's a large zoo. I mean, we have a lot of animals here, a lot of different species. So we're filling up pretty fast. If we go over here and go to animals, we have 284, and I don't even know how many species we have. Habitat animals, we have a decent amount, you know, and there's more animals coming out in like I think a week or so. But yeah, so next episode we'll do the duels and just go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, I'm pretty happy with the enclosure. I think it came out pretty nice. The zoo overall is just pretty nice though. I think it's all coming together. It's all becoming pretty good. Oh yeah, and we're gonna do the butterfly walkthrough exhibit over here somewhere, because I gotta fill this in. This is a lot of space right here. A lot more space than I thought it was, so. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Planet Zoo. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you guys want to see on the channel in the future. And I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Stay safe out there, and peace out, guys.